Jayson Tatum has been playing at an elite level and is definitely deserving to be in the MVP race, if not, is the reason to win MVP. In this episode of Celtics Digest, I will break down an article from Tim Bontemps from ESPN looking at Tatum's leadership, and then we'll be looking at Tatum's stats this season in depth and in advance to look at how great Jayson Tatum has been playing and why I think he deserves to be the MVP this season. All of that on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. But before we get into any Boston Celtics news, I would like to say shout out to you guys who have hit that subscribe button and already joined the Celtics Digest family. We recently just hit 2,200 subs and we're so close to 2,300. So we can't thank everyone enough that's already hit that subscribe button. But if you guys want to make sure you guys stay tuned and up to date on everything Boston Celtics, trades, rumors, signings, live streams, everything of that nature, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we upload Boston Celtics content for you guys daily and we do not miss a day. Today is Thanksgiving and I'm recording this the day prior and we still have videos going up for you guys. What other Celtics channel is uploading on the holidays? Make sure to tune into Celtics Digest as we've got you covered every single day throughout the regular season. But let's get into the news at hand. Grab a snack, let's get ready as this is going to be an impactful episode divulging into why I think that Jayson Tatum can be the MVP this season. Jayson Tatum has already been off to a tear for the Boston Celtics so far. The Celtics are, as of right now, are the #1 team in the Eastern Conference, and Jayson Tatum has been phenomenal for this Boston Celtics team. Prior to the season, I did believe in my predictions that Jayson Tatum would still be able to get in this MVP race, and he definitely is in the running. We're going to be looking at an article right here from Tim Bontemps looking at Jayson Tatum's leadership and how he handled the situation with the 6 guys that could all start on the Celtics team and realizing who they wanted to start for the 5. As we can see, Jayson Tatum wanted to get in the room and talk about it, he told ESPN. We are all humans and we have feelings, and I opened the floor and basically said, there's 6 of us, only 5 can play at one time. One of us is going to have to not finish the game all the time. Whether it's fair or not, me and JB are probably going to always start and always finish the game. But we have to be held to a different standard and be able to be coached differently. Whether it's KP and Al, one of you guys may not finish the game and you have to be okay with that. That is what you want to hear out of your superstar player. As we know, Marcus Smart was the vocal leadership for this Boston Celtics team, and with him leaving in the offseason, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have to step up with this leadership role. Jayson Tatum wanting to be the best player and being the leader on this team, made sure to get ahead of that by having this meeting with all 6 of the players and finding out who was going to come off the bench. Realistically, him and JB would be starting. They are the #1 and #2 guys on this team. But if they were to have an off shooting night or get into some foul trouble, I definitely would expect one of them to be off the bench and seeing an Al Horford or Kristaps Porzingis in, or maybe even a Derrick White and Jrue Holiday. We have a quote here from Kristaps Porzingis that says, I think honestly it was a very important moment for us. He says, just to kind of look at each other in the eye and know that we're here for one job and understand that we're all going to be willing to make some sacrifices. And sacrifices is one thing that the Celtics team has had to make. With having 4 guys that can all score 20 points on a given night, it is tough for the Boston Celtics to find their rhythm and find out who's going to be the go-to guy each night. You just have to play around with the ball. Whoever is effective with their scoring is going to be the dominant guys. Realistically, for the Boston Celtics on offense, it's been mainly Kristaps Porzingis and Jayson Tatum handling that role. But we've seen games from Derrick White, Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, where they've stepped up and taken over that #1 slot. We're also going to be looking at a quote here talking about from Joe Mazzulla, talking about Al Horford, saying that it's the most inspiring thing for me as a coach to watch him. He's one of the most selfless and humble people that you have. Derrick White also said that Al was amazing. Everything he does out there, I'm just thankful to be his teammate, just seeing the work he puts in day out. It's inspiring. You see why he's played for 17 seasons now. Jayson Tatum also had some great moments to say about his favorite player on the Boston Celtics, Al Horford, saying he's ultimately the professional, the ultimate team guy. He does ever what we need him to do on a nightly basis to win, and we believe in him and the work that he puts in. And that's what you want to hear from your leader that is a young leader trying to take the reins. Obviously, he wants to praise the veterans, make sure the veterans feel at home, but he has such a great relationship with Al Horford. I mentioned in previous videos and in this article mentioned the same thing. Al Horford and Jayson Tatum have a very, very tight bond. They sit next to each other on the plane, and they're very, very close, as Jayson Tatum kind of grew up with Al Horford being that veteran presence with Marcus Smart in his first run with the Boston Celtics. Once Al Horford obviously left, went to the Sixers and the Thunder, when he came back, Jayson Tatum was a more mature individual and definitely took a little bit more of a leadership role for this Celtics team. Horford obviously probably coached him with a little bit as well, but it's great to see that these 2 guys have such a great relationship. As so far, as we obviously know, Al Horford loves the city of Boston, loves the Boston Celtics fans, so it's great to see that these 2 guys are just gelling for this team. We want to look at more quotes. Also, we see that obviously with the Boston Celtics, it had to come down with the starting five, and we've seen that the starting five has been successful with Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. Therefore, Al Horford would have to come off the bench. With this saying, it had to do a lot with Al, Tatum said. I got so much respect for him and knowing that he might not be the guy coming off the bench, and I didn't want to just be a thing where we got new guys and it's like, all right, Al, you're coming off the bench. He didn't want to ostracize Al. He didn't want to feel like he was pressured just because he was getting a little bit older. He didn't want to make him forced to feel like he had to come off the bench for the Celtics team. I know how much he's meant to this organization, how much he's meant to me, and just to have that talk, basically we got 6 starters and one of us has to come off the bench on any given night. I give Al a lot of credit, and I give Al Horford a lot of credit as well. You know, a big-time veteran for this Boston Celtics team, takes contract extensions and cuts that value in a little bit to make necessary money for this team. He's the ultimate team player and makes the ultimate sacrifices for this team to win. Yes, he realizes he's a little bit older and he needs to take a little bit more of a bench role, but that's great to see. But when he's needed, like in games versus the Philadelphia 76ers with no Kristaps Porzingis, he exceptionally steps up and balls out for the Boston Celtics. This is all great things to hear from Jayson Tatum being a great leader with this team. We also want to look at how Al Horford talks about Jayson Tatum being a great leader, saying he's taking a lot of accountability. I feel like it's been a progression with him, and it's been good to see him just continue to take steps as a leader time after time. He doesn't have to be that guy. He's going to be out there talking the whole time, but his presence is felt. I feel like he's leading us more as a group, and I feel like now he's starting to see the bigger picture. And that's what Celtics fans want to hear and want to see. We want our main guys to be the main contributors for this roster. And Jayson Tatum wanting to take the accountability of being the leader and being that front vocal guy, maybe not the most vocal, but with this presence definitely being felt, like Al Horford said, while also showing it off on the court, means wonders for the fans and means wonders for the team, as they know that their number one guy is not just giving them laziness, and he's actually backing up what he wants for the team by putting it out on the floor. With the last quote here, we can look that this was a time where if you're not okay with it, let's talk about it, Tatum said. I don't want everybody to, before the season started, say, yeah, I'm fine with it, whatever, and then we'll lose a couple games and then things build up. It offered a little time for us to be on the same page and express that we're all okay. It was a great meeting. Referring to the meeting and saying that he wanted to make sure that Al Horford was okay and that everyone was okay in their role if they were having to come off the bench, and not that it would cause some blow up in the middle of the season. It would have some internal drama like we have seen in the past. And that's great to hear from a guy like Jayson Tatum, a guy who wants to make sure his team is locked in, ready to go every single night, wants to be a great leader, wants to make sure everyone's okay, wants to make sure Al's not upset that he's taking a bench role. These are qualities you want to see in a great leader and a great player. Now, as we look more into how Jayson Tatum has been playing this season for the Boston Celtics. Obviously, this video is recorded before the Milwaukee Bucks game tonight, so I do not know if Jayson Tatum is playing tonight, and if he does play, I do not know how great his stats are going to be, but we are going to look at his stats so far this season. In the 14 games that Jayson Tatum has played, he's averaging 28.2 points, more than he was last year, almost 2 more rebounds than he was last year, and almost 1 more assist than he was. Also shooting better numbers, shooting almost 51% from the field, almost 5% better than last year, and shooting 2% better from 3. A little worse from the free throw range, but the Celtics have struggled from free throw in recent games, so I can see why that's a little lower. But Jayson Tatum averaging more numbers, more assists, and more rebounds with less shots. Obviously, he's got more guys in his system. He's got Jrue Holiday, he's got Kristaps Porzingis, but these guys are looking to make plays for Jayson Tatum and for Jayson Tatum to play well. As we just saw in the last game versus the Charlotte Hornets, Jayson Tatum erupted for 45 points. Unbelievable. 31 points in the first half. And like the Memphis Grizzlies game, he has done solid, but the Celtics hadn't really played through him in the second half like they did in the Hornets game. In the Hornets game, they kind of slowed it down. They got a little lackadaisical. Tatum didn't really see the ball as much. Yes, his shooting numbers did go down in the second half, but he didn't see the ball as he probably would have liked to, as he did in the first half, which definitely hindered his performances. But let's look at some more Jayson Tatum stats. We're going to be looking at these advanced stats that I found from another website. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I know that Bulls Digest has used this website before, and it's very, very valuable. As you guys can see, we're going to be looking at the offensive advanced stats, and we can see that Jayson Tatum has been dominant. He is in the 98th percentile on offense. He is a top 98% player on offense in the whole NBA. And that is something that you want to see out of your best player and contender as well. We want to look at his defensive stats. Yes, his rim frequency isn't the greatest. Yes, his block percentage isn't the greatest, but he's still a top 69 percentile defender, almost 70%. So if you want to say that Jayson Tatum is a top 70% defender, and we look at his offense, one again, a top 98% offensive player, he is in an echelon of players that is unreachable. Guys like Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, guys like that are going to be up there, but Jayson Tatum is right underneath them as a young superstar and a young MVP candidate. I definitely think if he keeps these numbers up and can stay great on both sides of the ball, the Celtics obviously stay atop of the Eastern Conference as one of the better teams in the East, and he can show that he is a dominant player playing alongside other superstars, putting up better numbers than he has in the past playing with other players. Yes, those better players are going to give him better looks, and he's going to get better opportunities playing with Kristaps, Porzingis, and with Jrue Holiday, but also they are taking away shots and limitations from him in some games if they are hot, and Jayson Tatum's got to swing the rock more. Therefore, I think it is very impressive if Jayson Tatum can be a 30-point per game-ish average player on a team with 3 other superstars and himself atop the Eastern Conference. I think that is a sure case of winning MVP. We've seen Nikola Jokic win the past couple, but he also has had some recency bias in that. Same with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has been solid, but if the Celtics can maintain the #1 seed in the NBA and contain one of the best players on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, I definitely think he deserves MVP this season. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you guys think that Jayson Tatum so far this season deserves the MVP, or do you guys think there's someone that's playing better than him? Let me know in the comments. If you guys are still not subscribed and you guys are at this point in the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button because we know you guys enjoyed this Celtics content. I'm Bruce Veliz. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, and happy Thanksgiving. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.